Guys, so I want you to close your eyes for a minute and envision this scenario, okay? So we've been touring homes for a while. None of them are quite up to, what you're looking for, right? So it's Saturday morning, 10 a.m. We pull up to this gorgeous rancher, and right away you get this feeling like, ooh, I'm really digging the outside of this house. We go inside, check it out, and immediately you know it's the one. Okay, awesome. That's great. Let's get this process started. So, obviously, the next thing I'm going to ask you for is okay, let's, get that pre approval and let's get this offer written up and shipped out. Offers are due by 7 p.m. tonight. No problem. You have your approval already. We're good to go. Oh, you didn't get the pre approval process started yet. Now, I'll stop you right there. I will never show houses without a pre-approval, but this is just, for this case. So, you tell me, hey, I'm going to go to my bank. We'll, get the bank. They'll get it popped out, no problem. Well, it's Saturday, and the bank is now closed. Okay, no problem. I'll start looking through my contacts, my lenders that work, evenings, weekends. We'll get this going. I can't find anybody that has time to do it right now. Offers are due at 7. We've got to get this moving like a week ago, right? So can't find anybody to help us. We can't get to the bank. So what happens? We just submit an offer without the approval. What ends up happening is you miss out on your home because you decided not to get the pre-approval done prior to looking at houses. I see this all the time. I get asked this daily from buyers. Why do I have to start the process? Why can't I do it until I find the house that I want to buy? Well, there's many reasons, and we're going to dive into them. Probably one of the biggest reasons that we need to get the pre-approval done is in this fast-paced market that we're in right now, we don't have time to wait 24, 48 hours. If there's a deadline on a house and if there's multiple offers in, we've got to get the offer in. So right now, that's the biggest reason is we don't have time. Another huge reason is we need to know what kind of loan you qualify for. So there's 4 major types of loans. There's a conventional loan, FHA with, there's PHFA, there's other little branches of that, but there's a VA and a USDA loan. All of those have different criteria that we have to hit. So if you're qualified for an FHA loan and the property that you really want will only take conventional or cash, there's no point to go look at it because they're not going to accept the loan. There might be something, going on with the property that it's not going to pass FHA because they have a separate appraisal that happens. So it may not qualify for FHA. The seller may just say, I don't want to deal with FHA. So we need to know what kind of loan you're going to have so that we can figure out which homes we're going to start viewing for you. Big reason is we need to know your finances. We need to know, do you have enough cash for closing? Do you need seller's assist? That's something that we haven't really seen lately in this market. I do see it occasionally though. So seller concessions is where the seller, believe it or not, will pay for some of the buyer's closing costs. With some programs you can get up to 6% seller help. We need to know if you need that. If you don't have the money to close, let's say your closing costs come out to $20,000. If you don't have $20,000, you're defaulting on the contract. So we need to know, how much money you have. What kind of assets do you have? What do you have that can go towards your home purchase? And do you need any kind of help, assistance in order to get into that home? So probably one of the biggest reasons that I like the pre-approval done prior to even stepping foot in a house is we need to know what your purchase price is. Anybody can say, oh, I want a $200,000, $300,000, that's my budget. Well, that's great, but do you qualify for that? Now, on the flip side of that, if you do qualify for that $300,000, $500,000, whatever it is, Are you okay with that mortgage payment? I recently just had this happen. I had a couple go and they looked at a 275 house, and their mortgage payment, I want to say, was going to be around $2,700 a month. And I may have my numbers off, but they were not comfortable with that mortgage payment. They want to be under $2,000. So even though they're approved up to like $350, there is no way they want that mortgage payment. So again, even if you are approved to a certain amount, we need to know what your comfortable mortgage payment is to make sure that we're looking at homes in your price range and that we are putting you in the best situation that we can. Now, the biggest reason that people do not want to do this, get the pre-approval started, is I have like two big reasons. One, it's a lot of work and they don't want to do it. Well, I mean, you're buying a house. It's the more documentation, the more paperwork they get from you up front, that's good. You do not want a lender that just says, hey, tell me how much money you make. Tell me if you have any debt. Tell me what your credit. Okay, you're good to go. You're approved. No, we don't want that. That is how we see contracts fall apart, deals fall apart, and you're not going to get to the closing table. So you need a good local lender who is going to dive into your finances. And when I say dive, they are diving into your finances. So be prepared to, give them stacks of, pay stubs, W-2s, just assets, anything that you have. They're going to want to see it in order to get your pre-approval, working the best for you. So that's the biggest reason I hear is it's just too much work. We're buying a house. We're going to have to put a little bit of work into it. So definitely gathering those documents is key. And also a lot of people say that they don't want their credit to get hit until they find the house. It only brings your credit a couple points. It's not going to hurt anything majorly. And, that's just, it's not going to really affect much. If you're serious about buying a house, if you're going in and out of houses and looking at them, definitely get the pre-approval started. It's worth it. You do get the process started. I highly recommend talk to like 2 separate lenders if you need recommendations. I have plenty, but I have like 3 major people that I work with. I trust. I know we're going to get to the closing table. So if you need recommendations, I got you. Don't worry about it. If you have any other questions about getting pre-approved, what the process looks like, the documents that you're going to need once you do get ready for it, reach out. Feel free. All my contact information is below. Shoot me a message, text, email, whatever. I'm happy to help answer any questions that you have about this process. Like I said, it's in depth. It can be very frustrating at times. That's something that a lot of my clients will tell me is it's just so frustrating to try to get everything together. And I know, I get that. I've purchased 2 homes personally myself. I get it. It stinks trying to get all the documentation together, but I promise you, you will be so thankful that all of that is done and you don't have to worry about so much documentation as we get further into the process and once we are actually under contract. And God forbid, we get a week before closing and the lender says, oh, you told me you had $50,000 saved and you don't. And then the deal gets terminated. And that's the last thing that we want to do. We want this to be as easy, smooth as we possibly can for you. So, like I said, if you have any questions, need anything real estate related at all, know people that are looking to buy, sell, or have questions, I'm always available to help. Have a good one. And just so you guys, that's my cat. He likes to hang out on my canopy. Have a good one.